What's going on? This is Daniel with Family God and Country, back with another video here, and it is a hot one today, so I apologize if I sweat a little bit during this video. Out here in God's country it's about 90 degrees. What I wanted to go over today was fire kit and the contents of it and my philosophy on a fire kit and kind of what I see other people doing and what I believe should be, or not should be, but what I carry and what my opinion is on it and why. Before I open the kit, I do want to go over certain things. I'm really into traditional methods, flint and steel, and bow drill fires and stuff like that. But I think there's a time and place for those things, and for different kits, I carry different things because of that. If I'm going to go out and practice my flint and steel, then I'll take my flint and steel. Or if I'm going to go out and practice my bow drill fire, then I'll take my bow drill kit that I have made. But I'm not going to rely on those things in a survival or bug out situation. There's no sense in doing that. There's no reason. I can do it. I have done it. I don't feel anywhere near 100% confident that I could make that fire 100% of the time, especially in inclement weather, different adverse conditions, wind, rain, snow, stuff like that. Tinder that's not 100% dry, that type of thing. It's a difficult thing to do. So in this kit you'll see that this is the kit that I would carry in a bug out bag. This is the kit that I carry 99% of the time. And like I said, if I'm going to go out and practice, if I'm going out camping with a family or doing that type of thing, I'll take my bow drill and I'll take my flint and steel and I'll take different things and toy with them and natural tinders only and that type of thing. But if I need a 100% sure fire, I know that this kit's going to make me fire 100% of the time, no matter where I'm at, no matter what I'm doing. As long as I have fuel, I'll be okay. There's a difference between tinder and fuel. I have enough tinder in here to start a fire, but to carry enough fuel to maintain a fire is a different story. So as long as I have fuel, I know that what's in this kit right here, I will have fire 100% of the time without a doubt. Having said that, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to bring the camera in a little closer so you guys can see what we're talking about here, and we'll go over each item in the kit. So we're back here at the table, and first off we'll start off with the pouch itself. This is a buffalo hide leather pouch, just a single seam, no gusset on it, with a beaver tail closure, no clasp. It's just open and close just like that. It does have a belt loop on the back side. This is a very high quality pouch. We'll go ahead and get into what's inside here. Now the first thing is I got a couple tins. The first one here is Dave Canterbury's Mini Inferno, and this stuff is surefire all the time. There's no doubt about it. With this I can start fire no problem. The next thing I have here, and I'll open this one up, and this is just another tin, and you can see it's got matches written on it. That's not what's in it now, but I didn't see any reason in marking that out. And this is just an old tin. I don't know what this tin was originally. It's probably some type of tin for BBs or pellets or something of that nature would be my guess. It seems pretty old. I don't remember even where I got this. And what I've got in here is this bunch of different natural tinder. You can see I've got some fatwood shavings in there. I've got some cedar shavings. You can see that. Let's see if I can drag one out of there. You see those red cedar shavings, real fine down in the bottom there. I have a bunch of jute twine that I've burred up and added a bunch of surface area to there. And I even have here a couple pieces of charred fungus. The next thing, and the most important thing I think in this kit, is a Bic lighter. Unless you're in really inclement weather, which I have a fan going right here, so you can see it's blowing that out a little bit, but that's wind, that's inclement weather. But simple as that. Even if this thing gets completely submerged in water, you can dry it out and it'll still work again. The only time that Bics are an issue is in extreme cold weather. and I have noticed that they don't tend to work as well in really cold weather. The next thing we have in here going along with our tinder is wet fire, and actually I had about 5 or 6 of these in here before I started this video. I went ahead and took them out just because I didn't want to dig through each one. Wet fire for chemical tinder is the best, I think. I would prefer this over any other type of chemical tinder that there is, that I've used anyway. It will stay lit in water. You can drop this in a puddle of water or a cup of water and light it, and it'll stay burning. The next thing we have in here going kind of towards tinder is a magnesium block with a ferrocerium rod on the top here and the striker that it comes with. A lot of people get rid of the striker and they'll use their knife on this, or they'll carry an extra saw blade and this and that, and I don't really understand why. Really, I mean, it works fine the way it is. And my next thing in here, which a lot of people forget, and a lot of people don't utilize it near as much as I think it's possible, and this is a magnifying glass, and I believe this is a 6 power or a 6X magnifying glass, and this one's got a little cover that stays on it, and I just put a little lanyard on it with some bank line, some charred mariner's line. I think the magnifying glass is really undervalued and forgotten about quite a bit. Next thing we got, and I'm just digging in here now, I'm not picking anything out, I'm just grabbing it at random, is I have a pretty good sized hank of charred mariner's bank line. I'll put a toggle on the end of this. You can see I've already got a loop tied in the end of it there, and what I'll do is I'll put a toggle in there and I'll drop that down in my bottle, pull my bottle up out of the fire, pull pots out of the fire. There's a million uses for it. Next in here, just grabbing at random, I have an old jackknife or patch knife, whatever you want to call it. It's a folding knife. I use this for cutting up pieces of cotton when I'm making char cloth, when I'm practicing my flint and steel. I use this for fine carving, for making feather sticks, for making small tinder, for increasing my surface area of certain tinders, stuff like that. Next thing we got here, this is a Strike Force ferrocerium rod with a striker. I've had this Strike Force for probably, I won't exaggerate, I've had the Strike Force for 6 or 7 years at least, and I've used it all the time. Almost every camping trip I've been on how to pull it back and to get a good ember to hit where you're aiming it to, and do it consistently and quickly and efficiently. It's not, it does take a little bit of practice, and I advise anybody that's trying to learn these type of skills and stuff is go out and practice with everything you buy. Go out and use it, and that goes with firearms, that goes with anything. Go out and practice with it and use it and be proficient with it and be confident with it, and when you really need it in a stressful environment, emergency situation, you won't even think twice, you'll just do it. As to the best of my knowledge, a ferrocerium rod is a ferrocerium rod. I don't see any difference in quality from one to the other. The thing that does change is the striker. This here has a very thick, heavy-duty striker on it. You can see it, how thick that is. This magnesium block here, you can see how thin that is comparatively to that. And the last thing we have in here is a little bundle of fat wood. As you can see, I've got another little hank of cordage here. Rolled up in is some cotton cloth, basically like cheesecloth almost. You can see the size of the piece of cloth there, and I'll use this for my flint and steel and stuff like that, making char cloth. And you can see I've got 3 or 4 pieces of fat wood here. This is great tinder. I use this all the time. I'd use this before I use my wet tinder if I'm not in a real bad environment with bad weather or anything like that, because I know I can make fire with this, and this is a lot cheaper than replacing chemical tinders. I like to save those for when I really need them. Alright, well, thanks for watching the video on our simple fire kit today. I hope you got something out of it. These are just products that I think are the most reliable and what I use and what I carry in my kit. There is a ton of other products and fire starters and techniques that you can use, and there's a lot of different good ways to do it. There's a million ways to skin a cat. This is just the way I do it. So if you have any likes or any comments or suggestions or anything you want to put, please, I'd appreciate it. I'd love to have all the suggestions I can get. Other than that, thank you for watching. If you like the content and you want more of the same, please subscribe, and I appreciate you for watching. Thank you.